guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles and welcome to Motivational Monday. If you are new to this channel, every Monday I go over a motivational quote, a saying, a life event from either myself or one of you guys. And I just, really elaborate on that event or that quote to give us motivation throughout the week. And so if you guys do have any inspirational stories or motivational stories or life events that have happened, feel free to send them to the email listed on the screen, which is btalks@yahoo.com. That way we can use your experience to motivate us through the week. So today the quote that I'm going to be using is, people lose their way when they lose their why. I really like this quote. I like all of the quotes that I use on Monday. I really think that this can help some of us. It definitely helps me. And so before we get into the video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. So you guys, I chose this because, and I'm looking down, I'm just going to put this disclosure out there. I'm sorry if you guys keep hearing this, but I want to make sure that the people that are new tuning in, they understand why I'm looking down. So I do write myself notes. The notes are either on my phone, my son's phone, or on a piece of paper. And so I look down to make sure that I stick on, topic, and so I don't miss anything. And so I chose this quote: people lose their way when they lose their why, because many times discouragement comes from not knowing what you want to do next. This is why it's important to have goals and a purpose or a mission in what you do. So I'm going to go over a few tips on how you can not lose your why. Now, there's a lot of times that you're going to come to a point, or I'm not going to say you are, but there's a lot of times that many of us come to a point where we sit back and we say, I don't know what to do next. What am I doing this for? Is it even worth me doing it? And you start kind of second guessing what you're doing, whether it be in a business, whether it be going to school, whether it be continuing a job, whether it be exercising, whether it be doing anything that you're, currently doing. You may have felt really gung-ho in the beginning, and then as time passes, you're kind of like, I feel like I'm losing my way. I feel like, I don't really know what I should do at this point. Or maybe you just graduated high school. I know when I graduated high school, I was kind of like trying to figure out my way. What do I want to do? Do I want to go to college? Do I not want to go to college? Do I want to go into this field that everyone's pressuring me to go into? Or do I really want to try this? And so this really can resonate with a lot of different people from all different ages, from all different backgrounds. So the first thing that I want to go over is stay true to you. So one of the key tips that I can provide on not losing your way and staying, on your path is staying true to who you are. There's so many people that are going to accept you, and there's so many people that are not going to accept you. Being true to who you are doesn't mean that let me just quickly say this, that you have to walk around with a snotty attitude or just a, F it attitude. And what I mean by that is a lot of people say, I'm just being me as an excuse to be disrespectful or as an excuse to hurt other people. I'm not saying, stay true to you in that aspect, but I'm saying stay true to what you want to do. So many times we find ourselves trying to please others, and we find ourselves trying to get started on different things to make others proud of us, or because we feel like that's what society wants us to do. And eventually, in order to truly be on your way, and in order to truly, go down your journey, you have to find out who you are and what you like to do. I remember when I was graduating high school, a lot of people would come to me and they would say, right when you're about to graduate, everyone asks, what college are you going to? Do you know what you want to do? What do you want to major in? And honestly, I didn't know. And so for me to stop just getting those questions, I kind of came up with two things that I wanted to do. And I would just tell people those two things. And they were interesting, but it wasn't something that I really, really had a passion for. I just wanted to do them either because I heard that that industry made a lot of money. And, thinking as a child, you're like, hey, if it makes a lot of money, I'm going to be happy. Definitely not true when you become an adult. You're like, I can be making a lot of money and still not happy. I can be making enough money to just get by and be really happy and content with what I'm doing. So it's not just the money aspect, but when you're a child, your mind's still developing, and you kind of go off of what you think you know. And so, I didn't really know. I didn't know really what to do. And it was sometimes, I enrolled in school and I would sit in class and I would be like, I don't know if this is the right field that I want to be in. I'm learning all of this, I'm putting time into this, and I switched so many different fields. I wanted to do law, and then I wanted to do a different version of law, meaning, first I wanted to look at being a police officer, and a lot of people laughed at that, and I'm like, okay. And then I wanted to look at going into the Army. Then I wanted to look into being a lawyer. And then I went into looking at being a dental assistant. And I changed like so many different things that I wanted to do, which is not uncommon. But I had to really sit down and figure out, what do I want to do? Take the money aspect out of it. And I'm not saying, just do something that's not going to, make definitely do what works for you. Okay. But for me, I had to take everything out of it and just look at the roles and the description. What do I really want to do? And I found out that none of the careers that I picked were what I really wanted to do. And so that was fine, but I had to be okay being who I was. And even with social media, I feel like there's so many people that, you know, that are trying to be something that they think everyone wants them to be. And I can understand, even at school, even at work, you know, you don't have to, but, you know, sometimes you find yourself, you know, trying to conform. I remember I had a job and I was nervous to wear my natural hair to the job. That'd be a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, you have to find out who you are. And it's not even your outer appearance, but accept you for who you are inside. And, you know, figure out what you want to do, pretty much. So the second thing that I want to go over is set strategic goals and hold yourself accountable. So another tip for you know, not losing your way and staying focused is, like I said, setting those goals. Now, not just setting goals, but setting strategic goals. Now, the difference between strategic goals and just goals are strategic goals actually have checkpoints throughout the goals on how I'm going to obtain this goal for the week. So it kind of breaks it down. So, you know, people ask, you have a 5-year goal, and sometimes you'll be like, maybe to get a house or something like that. I'm just giving you an example. And so in order to do those things for a strategic goal, you'll have to break it down. You know, how do you plan to get this house? What are the requirements to get the house? Okay, well, my credit has to be here. I have to have this much money down. And so I have to figure out the taxes. I have to figure out things like that. So, you know, you have to sit down and break it. Okay, so what am I going to do to make sure my credit is up to this part by next month? You know, you have to break down the goals so that you're not just saying, okay, in 5 years, I'm going to be here. No, how are you going to strategically plan out your day each day to make sure that you're moving closer to your goals? So you have to really do that, because if you are not really planning, breaking down your goals as to what you're wanting to obtain, you can get lost along the way. Distractions can come in. You know, you can kind of put your goals off to the side because you're not really holding yourself accountable. So hold yourself accountable to meeting those goals. I'm not saying beat yourself up if you don't, because, you know, depending on how you set your goals, we all set our goals differently, and we all expect different things from ourselves. So depending on what you expect, your goals may be different than the next person. So I'm not saying your goals may be really, you know, really high goals, which is nothing wrong with that. But I'm not saying beat yourself up if you don't reach the goals. Yeah, change up some things that you're doing, but you definitely want a strategic roadmap. How am I going to get this goal? You know, how am I going to do it? Because just saying this is my goal and just, you know, continuously going to work or just continuously staying at home and nothing else changes with your day, you have to figure, okay, if I'm not doing anything different, how is this just going to poof up? You know, and that's why so many of us get to a point where we're like, dang, it's 5 years later and I'm at the same position. You know, or I've maybe have made a couple steps, but it's not really where I want to be. So we have to really hold ourselves accountable and, you know, start really breaking down our goals so that we won't lose our whys. We don't get lost on our, you know, on our path. The next thing I want to go over is make your mission known. So whatever you're doing, especially if you're in business, again, guys, just so you don't forget what the quote was, people lose their why when they lose their way. So make your mission known, because not only do you want to know your why, you want everyone else to know your why. I'm not saying tell everyone else your every single goal and every single plan for your business. But when people see you, especially if you're in business, they need to be able to correlate that with, okay, this is her mission. This is what I can go to her for. Or this is his mission. This is what he can help me with. This is why I'm going to go to him over someone else. You know what I mean? So you set your mission. Why? You know, and it's the same as when you're choosing what church to go to, for example. Why am I going to this church versus another one? What is their mission versus the other church's mission? You know, what do they stand for? What do they represent? Same as if you're choosing schools. You know, why am I going to choose this school over this school? Same as when you're choosing a career. So really figure out what your purpose is, what your why is for doing what you're doing, and make it known. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. I mean, you may be nervous, but don't be ashamed. You know, there's times that for me, even I didn't want to post certain things or say certain things. I'm like, wow, this kind of sounds a little corny. I don't know if people are going to react to this, especially on social media when you see, you know, a lot of people that are more, I don't really know the right word for it. But you see a lot of things on social media, and sometimes they correlate with what you believe in, sometimes they don't. But you see a lot of followers, and you see a lot of people clinging towards certain type of things, and you're like, wow, I don't agree with that, and this is not how my videos are going to come out at all. Wow, are people going to laugh at me? Or people, and it goes back to being who you are, sticking true to who you are, and making sure that no matter what, your mission is still known. Regardless if you're the only person there that supports it, stand strong with it. Stand strong with it, because you have to be your biggest supporter. So make your mission known, whether that be you're on social media, whether that mean you're in class, at work. If you're promoting positivity, then you want to make sure that you're promoting positivity. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to, make any mistakes and there won't be any bad days, but I'm saying that if that's what your mission is, to provide positivity to others, then make sure that that's what they know they can go to you for. Number 4 is going to be constantly brainstorm and write down ideas. So that you won't lose your way, so that you're not getting off of your path. You want to make sure that you're constantly thinking of ways to better yourself and better your brand, especially if you're in business. It can be, business is not anything that's just easy. A lot of times it doesn't just fall into your lap, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes in order to make businesses successful. And so a lot of times, even with YouTube, I'm constantly writing myself notes. What do I want to talk about? What is a good topic to go over? Even for, this, I'm doing a conference pretty soon, and it's going to be really cool and really interactive. And I've never done a conference like this, with this amount of people. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. And, even for the conference, I'm sitting here and I'm writing down notes, and I'm, brainstorming ideas and different activities. And I think I'm actually going to make a video, because I got one activity that'll be really good for what I'm going over. But I got one activity ready for, the group of people that I'll be speaking to. And yeah, I'm probably going to show you guys me shopping and getting prepared for that activity. That was just a side note, so I apologize. But I'm constantly brainstorming. I'm constantly trying to make sure that I can think of ideas to better myself and better my brand. And, that keeps me on the path too, because if you're constantly thinking of your business, now I'm not saying don't take a break and don't have fun, but I'm just saying, sometimes you might even be watching TV and an idea pops in your head, or sometimes you might even be just sitting outside in your car. Sometimes I literally sit outside in my car. I have a lot of trees in the backyard. Sometimes deers are in my backyard, and the way that my car is facing, I can see right in my backyard. And, it's peaceful. So even if I'm just looking around or I'm just being peaceful, I'll be like, this is an idea that just popped in my head, and it keeps me focused on, okay, this is your why. This is why you don't want to lose your way. This is why you need to do what you're doing, because you're going to impact this group of people, and you're going to impact this group of people. And, you're changing yourself and you're bettering yourself. So that really keeps me focused as well. The last thing that I want to go on is focus, stay on your path, and have discipline and focus. So I kind of just said focus twice in that sentence, and I've been saying focus throughout this video because it's so important. A lot of us lose our way when we do lose our focus, when we get wrapped up in the wrong things. And I know there's a lot of things that you can get wrapped up in. And that's why it's so important to guard your mind, being around people that are going to lift you up, being around people that are going to be supportive, starting to support yourself, changing the way that you think from negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Even when you catch yourself thinking negatively about yourself, you're correcting that right there, and you're speaking truth, to those thoughts. And for me, you guys, I always, for some reason, I like to be like, I don't like a lot of light. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I used to have migraines or what, but I don't have a problem with sitting, kind of in the dark. Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. But my mom came in my house one day and she's like, you should really open your blinds. You should really. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I like privacy, and I really don't. For some reason, I think, okay, people may be trying to look in my house, or I don't know. Maybe I watched too much Investigation Discovery. That's probably what it is. But yeah. So I never did that. And so recently I've started opening the blinds in my house, and I can tell you, just that light makes you feel so much better. And it may sound crazy, like, duh, Brittney, I always do that. I didn't catch on, like I didn't. And so, if it feels like a world of a difference. When I would drop the kids off and I would be home, I would just be like, I'm gonna keep the house dim. Why not? It feels cozy. I don't have to worry about anyone looking in. But no, let me tell you that natural light brings in a whole nother mood, a whole nother feeling. And so it really helps me to stay focused too. Just being in a positive mindset, seeing light, being around people that are positive. And I know you can't change everyone. There's some people that aren't going to be positive that are in your life, but making sure that your mindset is really fed with positivity, making sure that you're focused on what you're doing. Because if you allow yourself to, become really sad or down, sometimes that can interfere with what we're trying to do, and it can interfere with what we're trying to accomplish. So I try to keep myself happy every day. Even if something's going wrong, I try to think of what has gone right. And it's just a matter of trying to change our thought process. Am I perfect? No. Do I still have times where I think negative thoughts? Yes. But every day you try to be better. That's the whole goal. And so sticking focused, this is why I can't do this because I'm wanting to do this. That also goes into saving money. This is why I can't go to this concert this week, not because I don't want to have fun or not because I don't want to be, with my friends, but because I have to get this, presentation wrote out. You know what I mean? Like I have to go to this event, or I have to make sure that I put this time back into my business. Sometimes, a lot of people wonder, and I get questions too, and I might do a separate video on this, but how do you work on your online business? Like once you already have your website created and people are like, I'm working right now. A lot of people say, okay, what exactly can I do to work? And so there's a lot of things that you can do, but I can give you a tip. Sometimes if you just set a certain amount of time aside for your business, just to brainstorm and just to think solely on what you want your business to do. What do you will have so many ideas come to mind, and at first, because you're new to trying to brainstorm and you really sit down and give yourself a specific time just for you and your business, it may be like, okay, I went in here for 30 minutes and I got nothing. It may be, but once you start getting in the habit, okay, then you may say, you know what? Okay, I got my website created, but I forgot to make this, or I can really attach a blog to my website, or I can do there's different things that you can do. And again, you guys stay with me. I'm going to be going over different ways to work while you're at home. And I'm going to be going over blogs and things like that as well. Because me creating a blog also helped with my business. But you guys, the moral of the story, or the moral of the last tip is just stay focused, you guys. Keep yourself in a positive place so that you can stay focused and do what it is you need to do to accomplish your goals. So again, you guys, people lose their way when they lose their why. Don't lose your why. Operate on your mission. Keep that in your mind. If you have to, make a sticky note and stick it on your desk every day at work, or stick it in your room, or stick it in your binder for school of why you're doing what you're doing to keep you motivated, do that. But just know that everything it should be a necessary stepping stone to get you to where you want to be. I used to dread going to high school. And I know I have people that are younger too that watch me. So if you're in high school and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to go today, I just feel like skipping. No, really write down why you're in school right now. Why are you doing this? What are the benefits going to be? And keep those in your mind. So even when your friends are wanting to do something, you're like, you know what, girl, I can't do it. I remember for senior skip day, I'm just going to say this really quick and I'll let you guys go. But for senior skip day, don't laugh at me, guys. I was like one of the few people there. And I don't know if you guys have senior skip day where you're at, but in Michigan, we had it. And pretty much on senior skip day, I don't think the teachers even expected seniors to come to school, and everyone went to this beach. And I was the only one at school. And I could have went, I could have livened up, but like I really wanted to do what it is I needed to do. So I didn't want to just follow the crowd. So I'm telling you guys, be doing what's right, staying focused. All that stuff may sound funny and it may sound okay, whatever. But when you get older, it pays off. And so I'm not saying don't have fun, but I really just felt a need to put that on my heart. Really stay focused and committed to what it is you're trying to do, no matter who stands with you. And so you guys, I hope this week we can really go through this week, finding the value in the things that we're doing already and making sure that we're operating off of our mission, not just operating based on what we feel like doing, or just operating based on how much money we're going to get if we do this, but really based on, what it is we stand for and what the mission is that we're projecting onto other people. You know what I mean? So I hope this really helps you guys. I hope that you guys were motivated by this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.